Some of my brothers. Some of my brothers. Yeah. Week ago. We tweaking, huh? Tweaking, huh? So, boys. Today, my brethren, we are going to be doing part 2 to what if Deku was the legendary Super Saiyan, I believe. So, last time I left off, bro had just defeated the Nomu by completely incinerating it with the eraser cannon. And let's see. Oh no. Oh yeah. Now it's time for the sports festival. Sorry if I seem a little slow today. I'm just very tired and I have a cold, so you know, it is what it is. So, um, as soon as they get back to school, Aizawa tells them they have 2 weeks off to prepare for the sports festival, blah blah blah, and to get as strong as they possibly can because it's gonna be a challenge or some shit. And Izuku's like, I don't need training, nigga, but you know, since shit happens, bro. So he's still, you know, he still trains because he's always trying to get stronger. You know, he's just that Saiyan mentality. I get stronger by any means. So, man, I don't even know what to do next. You know, because I want to give him a girlfriend, but I don't know who. Give me a second. All right, so he's gonna meet this girl over the 2 weeks, and they're gonna start talking. Like she's not gonna be his girlfriend yet, and she's not gonna be special either. She's not gonna be special whatsoever. She's gonna be let's just say, yeah, she's quackless. Let's say she's quackless, cause I just don't get it when people like try to make like Deku's girlfriends like super. Oh fuck yeah, Ross. Sorry, fuck that. Fuck all that. Shit, I fucked up. No, this is not his girlfriend. I'll make this his girlfriend for another one. His girlfriend is Froppy. Give me a second. Like I was saying, Froppy is gonna be his girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? But she can give that Glock 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, nigga, even 9,000. It doesn't matter because she got that big ass tongue. She can suck your dick and lick your ass at the same time, nigga. What is you talking about? But anyway, like I was saying, so Izuku is like he finishes his training for the day. Like this is like a week into the holiday they get for the villain attack. So he's like finished. And sorry if my voice sounds a little off. It's just um sorry. But if I let my voice go, it just gets kind of deep like this. I don't know which one you prefer. Fuck. So like a week into the holiday, right? He's done with his training for the day. Like his training is legitimately just key manipulation. That's all he has to do because he has overflowing ki, right? Because he has more ki than Kumba and Broly combined, right? And if you don't know, that's a lot of ki. So he just needs to manage all of it, you know, like keep it contained and not have the ki leaking off of him at all times. Anyway, so he goes out, right? And he goes to the mall. He's just walking around, right? And he sees green hair, you know, and just reminds him of Froppy. And for some reason, he's like, "Hey, let's go. I'm gonna see if it's her," you know. So she So he pops into this random store, right? And then he just sees her shopping. She's like shopping for like underwear or some shit, and he sees her and she sees him, and she's like, what are you doing here? And Izuku's like, what do you mean? It's the mall. She's like, yeah, but this particular store. Then he looks around, he sees lingerie and underwear everywhere, and he's like, oh shit. Um, he says, nah, it's not like that. I only came in here because I saw you. And she's like, so you saw me go into a lingerie shop and you came in here? It's kind of perverted. And he's like, bro, why are you trying to play me like this, fam? Like, I told you, I saw you. I didn't see the flipping shop, right? And, she starts laughing. She's like, okay, whatever. And she's like, so, what, did you want something from me? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I came to ask you if we could hang out sometime. And, Frumpy points out again, they're a lingerie shop, and he's asking to hang out. That doesn't look very good, you know what I'm saying? Like, this whole, this whole situation is a bit tapped for him still. But he doesn't care. He's like, yeah, whatever. I just came to ask if you wanted to hang out. If you don't want to hang out, it's cool. And Frumpy's like, no, I didn't say I didn't want to. He's like, I will. I'll hang out with you. He's like, so give you my number. And Izuku's like, you better 079 me. Nah, he gives her his number, right? And so my nigga just dips off. He dips off of the shop and goes on somewhere else, right? And when he's going there, a bunch of girls are just seeing him, right? Because he looks, like I always say, like he's buff as fuck, right? But he doesn't look like Broly. He doesn't look like mature. Because if you didn't know, Broly is like 40, fam. Just like Goku is. No, actually, no. No, Broly's like 30 and Goku's 40 because of hyperbolic time chamber, yeah. So Broly's like 30 years old, fam. You wouldn't know because, saying genetics. But anyway, he looks like Cumber, like a very he looks like a very young version of Cumber. So he's walking around the mall and bad girls are just staring at him, right? And then oh, random girls just keep going up to him, like trying to get his number, right? And this isn't happening far away from the shop either. Like it's happening to like in a distance where Floppy could see him easily, right? And that bad girl's like asking for his snaps and that. And he's like, nah, I'm cool, fam. And she's like, ooh. So he doesn't give out his snap to just anyone. He doesn't give out his number to just anyone. Cause, bro, you give your snaps to folks. You give your number to a girl you're trying to talk to. You know what I'm saying? But personally, I give my snaps to hoes and tricks, bitches. I give my number to girls that I'm trying to get to know about. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I'm gonna make. He's not like super disrespectful. He's like, nah, I'm cool. Like I already have plans. And they're like, what about next week? And he's like, next week I'll be busy. And they're like, who? What are you doing next week? And he's like, um, I'll be breathing. Once I'm done breathing, then I can take your number. And before they can say anyway, he just basically walks away, right? And they're like, well, that was rude. And Yuzuku in his mind like, oh, fuck off, fam. Because he doesn't like being disrespectful in front of people. He doesn't like being disrespectful to people, but he'll say in his mind whatever he thinks, unless he's angry. Like when he's calm, he's monotone. He's respectful as he can be. But like everybody else, when he gets angry, shit starts popping off. But anyway, so him and Froppy talk over this week. They chilling, right? And so 3 days into their conversations of casually flirting and shit, Izuku's like, okay, like, I like you and I want you. Now we can do this the easy way, or we can do it. Okay. Nah, Izuku's like, so I like you, and like, I know you like me too. And he's like, no, he doesn't say I know you like me too, because he's still a bit insecure. Like, he's still the same Izuku. He's like, I like you, and I think you like me too. So, would you like to go on a date with me? Which Froppy's like, yeah, sure. You know, in that Froppy manner. So they go on a date. Everything goes smooth as hell. They go to an amusement park. Then they go to the beach. They take long walks on the beach. Then they walking back to his crib. You know what I'm saying? Cause his mom's, she, yeah, she lives it. I don't know, bro. Like, I always gotta make Deku rich for some reason. I don't fucking know, nigga. Like, god damn it. Anyway, so um, he lives in an apartment. Let's just say that. Fuck Inko. I know Inko's best mom, but still, it's like he lives in an apartment, right? So he takes her back to his apartment, and in her mind, she's like, okay, shit's gonna get popping. Like, we gonna have our first kiss and everything. Like, she don't care. She already knows that he likes her. Like, on a serious thing, and she likes him too. So she trying to get it popping, but he's not for all that. He's legitimately just trying to hang out, bro. So when they get to his crib, right, like, Zuko goes and he sits down like on the couch, and he just puts on um, some Netflix, right, and he just puts on a random show, uh, not comedy, like romance, right? He puts like this random romance movie just because he's a romantic ass nigga, and he wants to make her feel comfortable and make her feel like she can be herself around him type shit. And so she's like, ooh, he put on Netflix. That's moving a little fast. She's like, romance movies, my nigga, damn. But then he's like, anyway, let's just watch this movie real quick. And she's like, okay. So the whole time they're watching the movie, Robbie just waiting for him to make the move, because she just wants him to make the move. Because let's just say she's had like four boyfriends in the past. They've never like had sex or anything, or even kissed, you know. But in every single one of those relationships, which I may say were not very long, they were like 3 months long each. I don't know. Fuck it. Like, every single time, whenever a boy put on Netflix, they would always try to make the move. But Izuku ain't like that. He just smooth with it. He just enjoying the movie. And so the movie ends. Izuku, he's like, "Well, that was cool," and she's like, "Yeah," and Izuku's like, "Well, oh shit, this. Wait, give me a second." So Izuku, he gets up. He's like, "Well, it's getting late. Best to get you home." You know what I'm saying? So Robbie's like, "Oh, okay." But she expected something to happen. You know what I'm saying? So Izuku just kind of like, I don't really want to make the first move because that shit just seems a bit aggressive. He's trying to make a good impression on Froppy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like Froppy likes him for him, but he's trying to be like a good guy. You know what I'm saying? When he's clearly an aggressive ass nigga. You know, but he's not trying to make any aggressive moves because he doesn't think that she likes that. Which that is one of the things that she likes most about him. So when they get back to when they get outside, right? Izuku calls an Uber and he hops in the Uber with her, just in case, you know, because there'll be some creeps in the night. So he hops in the Uber. They drive. They get driven. They get driven to her house, and when they get there, you know, Froggy's kind of like, so this is how the night's gonna end, and Zuko's like, well, goodbye, because she's thinking this in her head. She's like, this is how the night's gonna end, and Zuko's like, well, good night, and basically he just like walks. He just starts walking away, right? And then Froppy calls out to him, you know, like real quick, and he turns around and she just goes in and kisses him. And Izuku's like, well, what the fuck is this? You know, and, you know, Froppy recoils from the kiss. And she's like, you know, you don't have to do this around me, right? And Izuku's like, what do you mean? And she's like, you don't have to treat me like a delicate fucking flower, bro. Like, I went out with you because I liked you the way you are. I like you being aggressive. I like you. I like your anger. I like everything about you, right? She's like, I like everything about you. I don't just like the sweet parts. And you know, Izuku's like, oh, well, I'm sorry. It's just, you know, you might not want me to treat you like a delicate flower, but to me, everything is a delicate flower. You know, like I could easily destroy anything I wanted to, and that makes me scared when I'm with you, type thing. You know, this like my nigga isn't normally sensitive, but he makes an exception for this girl. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, yeah, everything is a precious flower to me. Like I have to be careful. I have to be careful when punching things because they might break too easily. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to regulate my power at all times. Like, do you know how exhausting that is? And he's like, that's he's like, that's why I'm not around you guys anymore because I have to regulate my power with you all the time. And so she's like, I understand that. She's like, you can regulate your physical strength. She's like, just your personality. Let it be free. Let it be normal, like you always are around me. You know what I'm saying? And what she means by that is when usually when he's around her, he, like before they start like talking serious and shit, right? When he's around her, he's always like full aggressive, bro. He's like aggressive as hell, but like flirtatious as fuck too. So and she liked that shit, bro. And he's like, oh, why? He's like, if that's what you like, that's what you like. And basically, he just picked her up. He fully picked her up. Like he don't like just lift her off her tippy toes. Like he fully bear hugs her from the bottom and just lifts her up to his face and just kisses her. You know what I'm saying? And then with his spare hand, he just like signals to the car to go, you know, because he already paid. So you know he goes into her house. You know, she unlocks the door. He goes into her house, and basically she's like, wait, we can't do shit though, because you know, I'll wake my parents, type shit. Because you know what do you call it, the dorm system hasn't been implemented yet. And in the comments below, tell me when the dorm system is implemented so I can know. So they go into her house, right? And this whole time Izuku's just he's using his key to make sure nothing makes any sound whatsoever, just so that they don't disturb her parents. and no one could hear anything, so they won't be alarmed or anything. So, you know, this whole time he's taking her upstairs, and you know, they kiss, they making out and shit. And I'm sorry if I sound weird when I'm saying this romantic ass shit. It's just I'm not used to furthering the plots in my what ifs, you know? I usually just do the fight scenes and shit because why the fuck would I do romance? But anyway, so you know, he takes her up to their room and they just make out for a while. And then, like, they don't do anything else. But don't get me wrong, they don't do shit else. And then, you know, like, he like hugs up on her, you know, and just grips her tightly, and they just go to sleep together. Like, but with him like spooning her, him being the big spoon, obviously, because look at the size of this nigga. Look at the size of this nigga. Like, he has to be the big spoon, my nigga. So Izuku wakes up to the sound of an unlocking door, and he quickly uses ki to just mask his whole presence. His whole presence just disappears from that shit. Like like Froppy's parents can't see him whatsoever. So her, sorry, had to yawn. So her parents come into the room, right? They're like, Froppy, you gotta get up. You know, um, it's isn't don't you have to train for that thing with with UA and shit. And Froppy wakes up like alarmed as fuck, and she looks at them, and then she has like this really worried expression on her face, and she looks to the side and she sees Izuku because it's like a cloak that he has over himself, and Froppy can see under the cloak, right? So he's telling her to shush, like he's like putting his finger to his lips. He's like, shush, man. And she understands. She's like, yeah, I'll get up in a minute. Just give me a second to get dressed. And they dip out the room, close the door. And as soon as they go, Izuku just drops his shield. He's like, God damn it, fucking hell. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, what if we got caught? Fucking hell. He's like, yeah, we ain't ever doing that again, bro. He's like, next time you gotta come to my crib, like, just tell your parents you having a sleepover, my nigga. Like, we ain't doing this shit ever again. And Froppy's like, he's like, we're not doing it again at my crib, but we are doing it again, right? And she says that with like this cute ass face, and Izuku like, God damn it. He's like, why am I so attracted to you, woman? And he just goes and kisses her, right? And then he like opens her window and just floats out of it. And he's like, anyway, um, I can't talk or hang out like for the rest of the week because I gotta train. So see you at the sports festival. And he just like flies off, and when he flies, like this giant gust of wind just flies everywhere. And she's like, okay, but she's like very happy, you know, I mean, very guppy. I don't know what the fuck that word means, but she's guppy. Anyway, so 3 days pass, and Izuku has trained his ki control so much that he's like Vegeta in the Moro arc. Like he can perform ki diffusion and all that weird shit that they can do. Like he can perform instant transmission, um, gigantification, and dwarfication. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Size manipulation. That's what it is. You can do the size manipulation shit. I don't know, and some other dumb shit that you can do with energy manipulation. Anyway, so Yeah, damn. Sorry. The sports festival arrives, and the contestants are walking to the starting line, and whole time Izuku's like at the front because nobody's fucking with him because they all think he's just a brute. You know what I'm saying? So nobody's fucking with him, and Izuku just goes to the absolute front, standing alone with his like pinnacle of power type shit. You know what I'm saying? And, and then Froppy just comes up from behind, which she's like, "Where the fuck is Zuku?" type shit, And then she like asks Momo, which is beside her. She's like, "Where's Zuku?" And Momo's like, "Oh, don't you see he's at the front?" Then she looks forward and she just sees this bulking mountain of muscle at the front, and then she's like, "Oh right, I forgot." Like when he's at school, he's not the gentle Izuku I know. He's the symbol of power. And she like walks towards him, and she like jumps up using her frog legs, cause like I said, this nigga is like 7 foot or some shit like that. So she jumps up and like covers his eyes like while dangling like off of his back. And she's like, "Guess who?" And Mom was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Don't you?" She's like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, that's Izuku, my nigga. Like, we don't mess with him. Like, this nigga will do an eraser cannon on you." Which the eraser cannon is one of the reasons people fear him because that shit was documented. Like, this wasn't like during the USJ when only heroes were allowed into the dome. This was after the USJ when the Nomu was being like dragged out, right? So Izuku blasted a whole Nomu in front of the whole TV, and everybody saw the path of destruction his blast left. So everybody is like, "Yeah, we ain't fucking with him whatsoever." So, you know, so when they see this like um, petite ass, um, innocent looking girl just like playing games with this nigga, they're like, "What the fuck is she doing?" She's like, "This nigga gonna kill her," you know, because a lot of what do you, what do you call it? A lot of the students call him a villain because he killed someone or some shit like that. And basically, they just see this. They just see him lift his giant ass hand. He grabs behind his back and lift. He swings Froppy around to his front, And then he gives her. They think um he's gonna like hit her or some shit, and then he gives her a big ass hug. And they kiss in national TV, which Froppy's parents, they don't give a fuck if she has a boyfriend, or if it's televised. They just care like, don't bring the nigga over to our house. Not at least not until you're like of age. So, they kissing and shit. Momo's like, "What the fuck? When does this happen?" And Izuku's like, "I missed you." Um, and Froppy's like, "I miss you too, Izuku." Blah 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 blah. Which Izuku's like, "Well, anyway, the test is about to start, so I need to get into position." And he puts her down, and he's like, "See you later." And the buzzer goes off. I don't know if it was a buzzer, but let's just say it was a buzzer. So the buzzer goes off. To yawn again. So the buzzer goes off, and Izuku and Froppy sees everybody running except for Izuku, and she's like, "What are you doing? We have to get there." And Izuku's like, "Well, I am going to get there. Goodbye." And he puts 2 fingers on his forehead, and he just disappears. And he's like, "What the fuck?" Because even she has never seen this shit. She's seen him turn invisible. She's seen him do all this shit. She's never seen this though. But anyway, so everybody just sees him disappear, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And then they look towards the finish line, and he's just there already. And And All Might's like, what the fuck? A teleportation quirk? I thought he said he only had energy manipulation and shit. Which basically, President Mike is like, what the hell, blah 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 blah. And um, basically, everybody's like, wow, he has a teleportation quirk as well. He's like, he can use teleportation as well. That's so powerful, man. Which while Izuku's there waiting, All Might's like, yo, what the fuck was that? Like, I thought you said you only had energy manipulation and body enhancement and shit. And Izuku's like, yeah, that's part of my energy manipulation. And All Might's like, what? How the fuck is that energy manipulation, my nigga? Like, you fully teleported. And Izuku's like, yeah, how I teleport is I turn my whole body into like energy, which that energy then like re emerges in a different location, which that is my instant transmission, which I transmit my energy into a different location. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, what the fuck? He's like, how do you come up with this shit, my nigga? Like, you are a genius. Like, teach me your ways, type shit. He's always like, I know, bro. Like, cause he's cool with All Might. He doesn't like All Might or any of the people in New Way by any means, except for I think I said Aizawa. I don't know, but except for the people I said he liked, like he doesn't like anybody else, but he can be okay with them just because he understands. They thought he was a villain. They had like substantial substantial evidence against him. The only person who he will flip on occasionally is All Might, because All Might knew him, and All Might was like his mentor, and he was All Might's successor. So that's the only person he'll flip on, because he doesn't understand how All Might couldn't see that he wasn't the villain. But he doesn't. Huh? Wait a second. Sorry, I was confusing this for my betrayed what if. Damn. Fuck. Sorry, I confused it for my betrayed what if. No, but All Might. The reason he's not cool with All Might is because All Might fully took his quirk just because Izuku was angry. Like, that's not a fucking reason to take a quirk away, my nigga. But anyway, so everybody's like, wow, he can use teleportation too. Cool. And so everybody arrives, and Froppy she comes like a like fourth. Yeah, I'm just gonna say she comes fourth after Baku and Shoto, just because like her being around Deku, like in even in the slightest, just gives her power, my nigga. Like his presence alone, just like my presence alone, it helps with the Gallus. Anyway, so she uses her frog legs and like jumps everywhere and shit. And so she gets fourth place, which everybody is looking at Izuku for the 1 million headband, which uh, they're still trying to get the 1 million headband, even though they know there is no way they could do it. Like they have they have no self-esteem right now. Like they have no confidence whatsoever, fucking ever. So you know, everybody, everybody. Give me a second for this stretch. Sometimes you just gotta hit them stretches, bro. Like, you understand what I'm saying? But anyway, so cavalry battle is just Izuku. Like it's always just Izuku when he's powerful, because the strong need no allies. That's what I always say. Strong people don't need allies. They just beat everybody by themselves. But anyway, so Izuku's by himself, and Midnight says go. Everybody's racing around trying to get the 1 million headband, which everybody is like, kind of like, just sliding, because they're going full speed towards Izuku, but then he just like instant transmissions everywhere, which they just slide to everywhere. And so everybody's sliding through the thing, and it just looks like niggas is ice skating in this bitch. Anyway, to the real shit. Like the nigga, he just basically he gets tired of instant transmissioning. Like it gets annoying at some point. He doesn't run out of ki because, come on, he just doesn't. So he just flies up in the air like a little bit above the range that people can get to. But Todoroki can still get there. But Todoroki's like, he's smart enough to know that Izuku has the advantage in the air, so he won't go there. So the time runs out, everybody gets the same scores except Froppy. She gets like Froppy. She gets way more points than her team this time. So I'm sorry if my breathing is heavy or I have too many expirations. It's just, bro, I'm sick right now, bro. I have a fucking cold, my nigga. Like, and I have to go to school tomorrow. So I have to beat this cold in one day, which I can do, don't get me wrong. I've beaten colds in one day, like multiple times, but it's just hard, my nigga. Like, I have to stay inside all day on warm weather, and then tomorrow when I wake up at 6 a.m., I have to take a cold shower, which that shit always breaks my spirit and builds it back up. But anyway, so, Froppy, she goes up against Dark Shadow, and she wins because it's like the peak of the afternoon, and she in this one she idolizes Miracle, so she uses her legs a lot since her legs are strong as fuck, so she kicks a lot. And she kicks the shit out of Tokiyami and Dark Shadow, and then it's her against I don't fucking know, nigga, like Uraraka or some shit, I forgot. But anyway, to Deku's side, Deku goes up against Shinzo, and Shinzo is like, must be nice to be born with such a great power. And Izuku's like, yes, yes it is. And Shinzo's like, see, that's why I will never get you 1A bastards. You're so cocky and shit like that. Izuku's like, he's like, I'm not cocky, I'm just confident, bitch. Like, nigga, I say shit, but I can back it up, so fuck you. And Izuku's like, and also, I wasn't born strong, my nigga. I was quirkless for most of my life, so shut the fuck up. You don't know shit about struggle, my nigga. At least you had a fucking quirk. I don't give a fuck if people call you a villain. At least you had a fucking quirk. Like, do you know what it is like to be treated as worthless, like less than scum, my nigga? Like, shut the fuck up. And Shinzo's about to retaliate, right? And he's about to put him under his mind control. But Izuku, actually, he does put Izuku under his mind control, and he's like, walk off. Which Izuku's about to walk off, but since ki isn't physical, it's like a spiritual or type of mystical energy. Not mystical, but it's like, it's energy, nigga. And he controls it with his mind, not his body, so so Shinzo can control bodies, he can't control minds though. Like, they can still think and shit. So Izuku makes his ki like go around him. So yeah, when he's about to fall off, um, his hand goes forward like an automatic defense. His hand goes forward, and he fires off a blast from his hand, which the blast is like a bouncy ball and it hits the wall and it comes back and hits his face and just knocks him into his senses, which he turns around and basically speed blesses Shinzo and just knocks Shinzo out of the arena. He doesn't crater him or anything. He just knocks Shinzo out of the arena. Like just his he just he just like pushes Shinzo out of the arena, but not strong enough that it would crater him type shit. So then it's Izuku versus Shoto. But on to Frappies. So it's Bakugo versus Uraraka, which I believe Uraraka cheated on Izuku or some shit. I don't fucking know. I think it was Uraraka who cheated on Izuku. Huh. Or was he betrayed? I don't fucking know. I need to go rewatch that video right now. Give me a second. Yeah. I was right. It was the cheated on thing, right? Sorry. I had to check. So Izuku, he basically like he sees like Shoto versus Tape Guy, which he sees Shoto just absolutely like slide on Tape Guy's whole block and just shoot up his homies type shit. So he sees Tape Guy just gets folded like a motherfucking omelet, bro. So Izuku's like, yeah, bitch. He's like, ooh, that's my nigga Shoto. That's my nigga Shoto. That's my nigga Shoto. That's my nigga Shoto. Which Shoto's like, I got you, bro. You know, I don't know if I made them friends in the last one. They're not gonna be friends still, but you know, they're gonna have a mutual understanding. So Shoto's like, I got you, bro. And so it's time for their fight. You know, so Shoto, what's his name? But anyway, Izuku also sees Bakugo completely destroy Uraraka, which he's like, I don't give a fuck about that bitch for real. About that bitch for real. Which he doesn't care for them anymore. The Tape Guy or the other one. It's just Shoto's his nigga, you know, like he's Izuku's nigga, my guy. And he destroyed Tape Guy, so he's like, yeah. But Bakugo ain't his nigga, so he's like, I don't give a fuck. But anyway, so Izuku goes to fight Shoto, and Shoto is like, I'll beat you, blah blah. Then Izuku's like, you gonna have to use that fucking fire, my nigga, like try to even try and beat me, you know. He's like, actually, to even attempt to try to attempt to try to attempt to beat me, my guy. Like, you are not shit compared to me, bro. And so Izuku, like, sorry for the heavy breathing. So Izuku is getting like a bunch of ice walls blasted at him, which Izuku's like shrugging that shit off, like he don't even care. And then he just does not a razor cannon, but just like one blast of energy. Which, by the way, this energy blast is like weak, so he just blasts energy towards Shoto, and you know it destroys the ice, but it doesn't go through. It just destroys the ice, and Shoto's like, "What the fuck? One blast destroyed my whole ice wall." Which the ice walls are bigger than in canon because everybody trained harder in this version to catch up to Izuku, but nobody trained harder than Froppy because she's like, well, Izuku's strong, so if I'm gonna be his girlfriend, like, I have to be strong as well. Which they haven't announced. They haven't made it public yet. Like everybody knows, like they flirtatious and shit, and they kiss and stuff. But like they haven't told anybody like if they're official or not. And Momo asks Froppy, and Froppy's like, I don't know if we're official or not, but I just know that I like him, and it seems like he likes me too, type shit. And so Izuku just blasting these like a bunch of blast towards every ice wall he makes, which the ice walls aren't small either. They're like half of the whole stadium. Half like a whole side of the stadium is just covered in that ice. Like the people in the stands are nearly overtaken by it. And Izuku just blasting, like disintegrating the ice with just one blast type shit. It's like he blasted into tiny smithereens to the point where it seems like snow when it falls. And so Todoroki gets tired and he finally uses his fire because he's not a bitch like in the original. So he blasts fire towards Izuku. Izuku like tanks that shit with his energy barrier around him, and he walks through the fire, like tanks it, and then just punches Todoroki out of the ring because he's like, "You are a brave warrior. You deserve the defeat of one." And so he returns to the waiting room just in time to see Froppy go out and Bakugo completely explode Froppy like all over her body, which he explodes Froppy on her face, you know, like her beautiful face gets like this giant burn mark, which can be healed by Recovery Girl, but it would still leave like a little bit of a scar, which will be dealt with later. So Izuku, he's getting angry, and everybody can see him getting angry. They can see this black, ominous aura like leaking around him, and then it turns green, and then black again. It's like flickering. It's flickering like a lot, like between this and this and this and this and this and this. Like it's like when Goku was transforming into the Super Saiyan the first time. His hair is like flickering between a dark red and a dark green, and then his aura is flickering between a crimson dark and black and green and black. It's just flickering and flickering until it goes completely like crimson red and black all over him. Like he looks like completely like Cumber right now. He's on that evil shit type. He's on that evil shit right now. So Bakugo, he's looking at Deku like, yeah, man, I just exploded your girlfriend, my nigga. Like, what is you gonna do about it, bro? And as soon as Bakugo says that, he just feels this chilling aura when Izuku looks at him like one-eyed, just one eye open, and he just feels this chilling aura around him, right? And Izuku goes up to Froppy, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And Froppy's like, "Yeah, Recovery Girl said I'll be okay. I'll just have this. It's just that now I have this scar on my cheek." Which Izuku's like, "What? He scarred you to the point that even Recovery Girl couldn't heal you?" And Froppy's like, "It's not that serious. Don't worry." And Izuku's like, "He scarred my girlfriend to the point that not even Recover Girl can heal her." And Froppy's like, "Girlfriend?" And she says that in her head, and she's like, "Girlfriend?" And Froppy's like, "It's not that serious, like for real, just calm down." And she can see like this dark ass aura around him, and then like just one of his hands, his aura changes back to green, and then he passes his hand across her face, and the scar is just gone. And she's like, "What the hell was that?" And Izuku's like, "That was my life force. I healed you with it." And she's like, "Life force? Like, what does that mean?" And Izuku's like, "Well, I just took off 1 year off. I just took 1 year off my life by healing you." And she's like, "What the fuck, nigga? You took off a year off your life?" And Izuku's like, "Don't worry. Like, since I am what I am, I'm gonna live a long time. So I'm gonna live at least like 600 years." So she's like, "What, nigga? You're gonna live 600 years?" And Izuku's like, "Don't worry. Like, you gonna live 600 years too." And Froppy's like, "But I'm not like, I don't have like your quirk or anything." And Izuku's like, "Nah, but humans originally lived to 600 years anyway. Give me a second, bro." like I was saying. So anyway, she's like, oh, okay. And he's like, anyway, I'll explain it to you later. Right now, I have to go beat a cockroach to the ground. Which Izuku was starting to get cool with Bakugo, because, you know, in the beginning, like I said, Bakugo was one of the ones trying to get him back to his senses. And Bakugo really didn't give a fuck. I'm not gonna lie to you. So he was starting to get cool with Bakugo. And then, you know, Bakugo just had to go and fuck shit up with him for Froppy, you know what I'm saying? So Izuku goes out there and he's not playing no games. Everybody saw like him before, and before he had like this green aura that was just, it was just like enticing and like primal type thing, but it wasn't evil or anything. It was just really calm but fierce and primal, you know? And then you see this dark ass aura around him, like this dark red and black aura around him would just it made him seem like evil as fuck, which All Might is worried for Bakugo because he knows like what Izuku can do, right? And he knows Izuku could do some shit to him. So imagine what Izuku could do to Bakugo, right? So Izuku goes out there, Bakugo was out there too, and Bakugo starts talking shit, and Bakugo's like, "Hey yo, I just like beat up your bitch, you know, like she's like she was so weak, blah blah. Like I gave her that scar. Recovery girl said she wouldn't be able to recover, blah blah blah." And Izuku, he's not having it. He's just walking towards Bakugo, and Bakugo's like, "What are you trying to do? Intimidate me? It's not fucking working, nigga." And Bakugo goes for, like, Izuku gets close enough where Bakugo goes for a blast at his face, and Bakugo's like, "I'll give you twin scars with your little plaything," which Izuku just grabs his face and just smashes it into the ground so hard that the whole ground just breaks beneath him. And Izuku's like, "Whoa, that's that." And basically, he fractured Bakugo's skull. And Bakugo was on the verge of dying, which Izuku just healed him. And he's like, can't have you dying, ruining my hero career, can I? And so Bakugo is still unconscious, and he has a mild concussion, which Izuku heals him, but not to the point where he did what you call it, Froppy, which Froppy's scar was meant to be permanent, which Bakugo's injuries could be healed if he had proper treatment. So it's like depending on the thing. Basically, it's depending on how Izuku feels about the injury or how much he heals it. If he heals the injury like a full amount, it's a year off his life. If he heals it like half, it's half a year. And if he heals it only a quarter, like just enough that they survive type shit, like just like he did to Bakugo, that's like a quarter of a year, you know, like 3 months. So Izuku heals his he heals Bakugo's fractured skull like a quarter. So he seals the crack in Bakugo's like cranium. He doesn't like make the concussion go away. Huh? Is it okay? But I need to poop, so that's gonna take a long time. But I need to poop. I need to poop. Just take your shower. Just go take your shower. Like, just go take your shower. Then go brush your teeth. Go brush your teeth. Then brush your teeth for it smelling. Yes, I do. Actually, it's his. Do my little dancey dance. shit. Gonna have to cut that out. Anyway, so anyway, Izuku wins the tournament. All Might's like, next time, try not to give young Bakugo permanent brain damage. Which he didn't give Bakugo brain damage. He just bruised the inside of Bakugo's skull a little bit. So Bakugo's always gonna have that reminder of Izuku beating his ass. Just like if anytime Bakugo gets hit too hard, that same spot in the back of his head just hurts, you know. And so that concludes the what you call it again? The sports festival arc. Goodbye. You wanted me to do the training arc, the training camp arc? Fuck you thought this was. I ain't giving out free handouts, bitch. Fuck you.